Have you ever noticed how the air changes the moment you stop being easy to control? Smiles fade, voices harden, support turns to silence. It's not that you became difficult, it's that you stopped being theirs. People don't surrender control, they shift tactics. They test your peace, twist your truth, and call your strength defiance. But beneath that tension lies freedom. Stay with me, let's uncover it together. As we step into the first chapter of this journey, picture this. The moment you stop being easy to sway, the air changes around you. What once felt like warmth becomes distance. Familiar smiles fade, voices grow sharp, and silence begins to speak louder than words. It's not that you've done anything wrong, it's that your calm unsettles their control. When people can no longer pull your strings, they don't simply walk away, they change their strategy. Control never leaves quietly. It disguises itself. It returns in softer forms: guilt, flattery, confusion. They won't force you to obey. They'll make you question if saying no makes you cruel. Now imagine this scene. Someone looks at you with wounded eyes and says, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." Another praises you just enough to bind you to their approval. "You're the only one who understands," they whisper, while tightening invisible ropes around your choices. These moments feel small, but they are not. They are the silent moves in a game meant to make you doubt your own mind. It's a game of emotional chess, and every move is designed to provoke a reaction. But here's where Stoic wisdom enters like a lantern in a dark room. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom isn't found in winning their approval, it's found in no longer needing it. Manipulators don't seek truth, they seek reaction. They feed on your guilt, your fear, your doubt. The moment you engage, you hand them the keys to your peace. They don't want your agreement, they want your attention. The more you explain yourself, the more you defend what doesn't need defense, the deeper you step into their trap. There was a man I once knew, let's call him Adam, who faced this test. He was steady, thoughtful, unwilling to compromise his integrity for comfort. One day, a friend asked him for something he could not give. When Adam declined, the friend sighed dramatically. "I thought we were closer than that." For a brief second, the old urge rose in him, the urge to justify, to ease the tension, to smooth over what wasn't his to fix. But something in him paused. He looked the man in the eye and said calmly, "I know what you're doing." In that instant, the spell broke. The manipulator's power collapsed, not through confrontation, but through awareness. There was no argument, no shouting, no lecture, just stillness. And in that stillness, truth became obvious. The man laughed awkwardly, tried to recover, but the game was over. That was the last time he ever tried. True control begins in silence. It begins when you choose not to react. It's easy to believe power comes from the loudest voice. But the Stoics knew the opposite. Power is the quiet refusal to be moved by another's chaos. It's the discipline to observe without absorbing, to see the manipulation without stepping into it. When you stop reacting, you stop feeding what was meant to drain you. So the next time someone tries to twist your words or pull your sympathy like a string, don't fight, don't defend, simply notice. Ask yourself, is this a request or a rope? Then, without anger, release it. Say no if you must, and move on. You owe no apology for your boundaries. You owe no explanation for your peace. At the end of the day, manipulation only works if you engage with it. The moment you stop explaining, stop feeling responsible for their storms, the power returns to where it belongs, with you. Because the truth is simple, and it's one the Stoics lived by. They can only control you through the emotions you surrender. Master yourself. Hold your ground. In the end, the only power they ever had was the power you gave them. And once you see that clearly, they lose it forever. Moving into the second chapter, the storm changes its face. When people realize they can't control you, they don't always confront you head-on. They begin to whisper. The attack becomes quieter, colder, more insidious. Words, once harmless, turn into weapons sharpened in private. They twist your truth, distort your image, and send fragments of your name floating through rooms you've never entered. And suddenly, you feel it, the sting of being misunderstood by people who've never met you. But this is how control tries to resurrect itself when power slips away. It can't command your actions anymore, so it targets something else, your reputation. Imagine someone standing before you, hurling handfuls of mud. The natural instinct is to throw it back, to shout your innocence, to explain. But the Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are unaffected by what is said, you have already won, because mud only sticks when you struggle in it. Let it dry, and it falls off on its own." Lies work the same way. The more you fight them, the more you spread them. But if you remain calm, steady, and true to yourself, the truth will surface without you ever needing to raise your voice. Silence, in moments like this, is not weakness. It's strategy. I learned this the hard way. Years ago, someone I trusted decided that tearing me down was easier than facing their own reflection. They spread half-truths, twisted words I'd said in confidence, built a story that wasn't mine, but sounded close enough to hurt. At first, my instinct was to correct it, to make sure everyone knew my side. I wanted to fight for my name, but as I sat with that impulse, I realized something. The more I fought, the more their lies would echo. And so, I stopped explaining. I chose stillness. I lived exactly as I was, saying nothing, doing nothing except continuing forward. Days turned into weeks, and something subtle began to happen. The story lost its power. The same people who once doubted started to see the cracks in the narrative. My actions were steady, theirs were frantic. Over time, their deception collapsed under its own weight. It always does, because falsehoods are fragile. They require constant feeding to survive. Truth, on the other hand, is self-sustaining. It doesn't shout, it doesn't chase, it simply stands. And those who lie eventually expose themselves through the exhaustion of maintaining their illusion. Seneca once said, "Time discovers truth. Time heals what reason cannot." When someone lies about you, your job is not to wrestle in the dirt, but to keep your conduct so consistent that time becomes your defender. Let your actions speak with the quiet dignity of a mountain unmoved by the wind, because those who rely on gossip reveal more about their own weakness than they ever could about yours. They show you what they fear, your independence, your composure, your ability to exist without their approval. So when the rumors come, as they always do, don't waste your breath chasing ghosts. Stay calm, stay silent, continue walking with integrity. The world will catch up, because the truth has a way of surfacing when the noise finally tires itself out. Your restraint will speak longer than any defense you could give. At the end of the day, the Stoics understood this timeless law. Slander cannot harm a virtuous mind. It only stains those who throw it. Stand firm. Let your character do the speaking. And remember, false words carry no weight unless you choose to lift them. Let them fall and walk on. The truth always finds its way home. Advancing to the third chapter, the battlefield becomes quieter but no less dangerous. When people can no longer control you, they often choose a subtler weapon: pity. They don't raise their voices anymore, they raise their helplessness. They rewrite the story, paint themselves in softer tones, and suddenly you're the villain in a tragedy you never agreed to act in. It's a cruel inversion of truth. They break the vase, then cry over the pieces and blame your silence for the mess. And the world, not knowing what truly happened, rushes to comfort the tears instead of questioning the hands that caused the fall. Now imagine this scene. Someone wrongs you, and when you finally draw a line, they look at you with wounded surprise. "How could you treat me this way?" they say, voice trembling, eyes downcast. They twist your strength into cruelty, your boundaries into betrayal. And before you know it, you're explaining, defending, trying to prove that you're not what they've claimed. But the more you speak, the guiltier you look in their theater of innocence. This is how emotional control becomes psychological warfare, performed in whispers, directed by self-pity. Here's where Stoic clarity becomes your shield. Epictetus once said, "A wise man does not allow others to dictate his emotions." The Stoics knew that manipulation thrives on reaction. The moment you argue with a false victim, you step onto their stage, and the moment you step onto their stage, you've already lost. Their performance doesn't require your participation, it feeds on it. The only way to win is not to play. When you stay calm and refuse to engage, the mask begins to slip on its own. Because every act has an ending, and when the curtain falls, truth is the only thing left standing. I once knew someone who played this game with precision. Whenever they crossed a boundary, they'd pretend to be the injured one. The script was always the same. They'd act shocked, twist the facts, and tell others that I had mistreated them. One day, after enduring this pattern long enough, I finally spoke up and said, "No more." As expected, they gasped, clutched their pride, and began spreading their tail. For a brief moment, I felt the old temptation to defend myself, to clear the air, to prove who was right. But I stopped. I remembered that truth doesn't beg to be believed. It endures quietly. So I let my actions speak. I remained steady, consistent, unbothered, and over time their own contradictions exposed them more clearly than any words of mine ever could. Seneca once wrote, "Time heals what reason cannot." I've learned that the same truth applies to lies. Time peels away performance. Those who seek sympathy instead of accountability eventually show themselves. The person who plays the victim is not seeking peace, they're seeking control. But a Stoic learns that peace is not given by others, it's guarded from within. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone who profits from misunderstanding you. Let them play their part, let them gather their audience. The truth has more patience than any rumor. So the next time someone paints themselves as the martyr while holding the knife behind their back, step away. Don't explain. Don't argue. Don't try to fix what was never yours to fix. The Stoics believed that character is revealed, not declared. Let time reveal yours. Let silence reveal theirs. Because no matter how convincing their act may seem, every false victim eventually forgets their own lines. And when that moment comes, you'll realize you never needed to fight for your name. You only needed to live in a way that made lies impossible to last. Stay calm, stay unshaken. Truth doesn't shout, it simply outlasts every lie. Entering the fourth chapter, the silence grows heavier. When people realize they can't control you, they don't always strike with open hostility. They choose something colder, quieter. They move behind the curtain, whispering doubts, bending stories, slowly rearranging the room until the people you trusted start looking at you with unfamiliar eyes. It's a slow erosion, one that doesn't cut you in a single blow, but wears you down grain by grain. They don't need to destroy you outright. They only need to make you feel alone, because isolation is the oldest trick in the Book of Control. Now imagine this. One day you wake up and the air feels different. Friends grow distant. Conversations fade into half-smiles and half-truths. You can't tell when the shift began or who started it, but you feel it. The quiet space between you and everyone else widening. That's not coincidence, it's design. When manipulators can't reach your mind, they target your circle. They know that strength multiplies in connection, so they work to divide you from it. They plant seeds, small, poisonous doubts, and let time do the watering. "I don't know if you can really trust them," they whisper. "I just thought you should know." Words like that spread faster than any fire. But here's what Stoicism teaches us. Solitude and isolation are not the same. Solitude can be chosen. Isolation is imposed. Seneca once wrote, "Associate only with those who improve you. Avoid those who would pull you down." The Stoic path isn't about being surrounded by crowds. It's about walking with the right ones. Those who sharpen your mind, not dull your soul. People who thrive on control can't stand that kind of independence, so they'll try to cut you off, one connection at a time, until you start questioning who's real. Their aim is simple: separate you, make you doubt, then step in as the only voice left. But the moment you see this tactic for what it is, the illusion loses its grip. I once knew someone who tried this. They were subtle, a master of the quiet poison. It started small, little comments about me, small exaggerations, the kind that sound like concern but taste like deceit. At first, I wanted to confront them, to clear the air, to defend myself. But then I realized that the more I fought back, the deeper I'd sink into their game. So I stopped playing. I turned my energy toward what mattered, strengthening the bonds that were real. I stayed consistent in who I was. I didn't chase rumors. I didn't try to win everyone back. I let my actions do the talking, and in time the fog lifted. Those who truly knew me saw through the lies. The rest drifted away. I didn't lose them. They revealed themselves. That's the hidden beauty of such trials. They refine your circle. They strip away the unsteady hands so that only the steady ones remain. The Stoics would call that nature's filtering process. When false friends fall away, the foundation becomes stronger. You begin to see who was walking with you and who was simply standing nearby. So when people try to isolate you, don't fight their noise with more noise. Stay calm, hold your ground, focus on what's real. The people who truly know your heart will not be fooled for long. And if someone can be turned against you that easily, they were never truly with you. A mind anchored in truth doesn't fear the dark. It sees clearly even when others lose sight. Remember this: those who fear your independence will always try to separate you. But no one can break what stands in quiet truth. Stay strong, stay connected. Real relationships don't collapse under someone else's lies. They deepen in their light. At this stage, the attacks become quieter, harder to name, yet they cut just as deep. When people can no longer control you through fear or isolation, they'll aim for something even more vital: your confidence. They won't confront you openly. They'll whisper their poison through questions that sound harmless. Are you sure that's a good idea? That seems risky, doesn't it? Do you really think you can pull that off? At first, you take it as concern. Then, as the questions multiply, you feel it. The hesitation creeping in, the steady rhythm of your own certainty beginning to tremble. This is how they work. They don't shatter your strength. They chip away at it, one doubt at a time. Now imagine crossing a bridge. You know it's sturdy. You've built it yourself, step by step, with effort and care. But someone standing beside you starts whispering, softly, persistently, "What if it collapses? What if it can't hold your weight?" The bridge doesn't change. Only your trust in it does. That's exactly how confidence is weakened, not by truth, but by suggestion. Manipulators know this. They can't take away your abilities, so they make you question them, and once doubt takes root, you start doing their work for them. You hesitate, you overthink, you begin to look for their approval, and just like that, you're back under their shadow. This is where Stoic discipline becomes your armor. Epictetus once said, "A person's worth is not determined by external approval." The Stoics understood that confidence grounded in other people's opinions is a fragile thing. It shakes with every whisper, every raised eyebrow. But when your confidence comes from reason, from the clarity of knowing why you choose what you choose, it becomes immovable. The world can question it, but it cannot touch it. True confidence is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It simply stands. I remember someone who tested me like this once. Every choice I made, they met with the same phrase, "Are you sure?" It sounded harmless, almost polite, but beneath the surface it was a test, a way to make me second-guess myself, to make me lean on their validation instead of my own judgment. For a while, it worked. I found myself over-explaining, defending every small decision, seeking their nod before I could move forward. Until one day, I caught it, the pattern, the trap. When they asked again, "Are you sure?" I looked up and said, "Yes." Just that. No justification, no defense. And in that moment, something shifted. They fell silent. Because confidence doesn't argue, it simply knows. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Confidence is not built in comfort, it's tested in doubt. Every question, every challenge, every moment someone tries to shake you is an invitation to stand firmer, to trust deeper, to rely not on applause, but on your own reason. The Stoics believed that the world will always test your composure to reveal your discipline. In the same way, life will always test your confidence to reveal your faith in yourself. So when someone questions you, don't rush to explain, don't rush to prove. Just pause, breathe, and remember, you don't owe them clarity, you owe yourself conviction. The louder the world doubts you, the quieter you must become inside. Confidence is not noise, it's stillness, and that stillness is power. Because in the end, doubt is their weapon, but trust, steady, reasoned, unwavering trust, is yours. Stand firm in it, trust yourself, and never let someone else's uncertainty become your truth. Moving into the 6th chapter, the battlefield shifts from words to emotions. When someone realizes they can't control you through reason or subtle manipulation, they reach for the oldest weapon of all, provocation. They start pressing buttons they know by heart, saying things designed to sting, frustrate, or ignite you. Not because they care about the truth, but because they crave your reaction. The moment you explode, they win. Your calmness is their defeat. Your anger is their victory. They want to see you lose control so they can stand over the ashes and say, "See, I told you they were the problem." Now imagine this. Someone throwing spark after spark toward you, waiting for your fire to catch. They mock. They twist your words. They drag your past into the present. And you feel it, the heat rising, the heartbeat quickening, the words forming on your tongue. But this is the moment that defines you. Because as Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. The Stoics understood that emotional mastery is not about feeling nothing. It's about owning your flame so it doesn't burn what you've built. When the wind rises, do not rage against it. Just refuse to feed it. Anger is seductive. It makes you feel alive for a moment, powerful even. But it's a mirage. The moment you react to their provocation, you hand over your control. You give them the very thing they came for, your peace. They walk away calm, composed and triumphant, while you stand there surrounded by the smoke of your own reaction. That's their game. They bait you to reveal your emotions so they can weaponize them. The Stoic way is to see the trap and remain still. Like a fire deprived of air, it fades on its own. I remember once someone tried to bait me into an argument. They spoke with that familiar tone, mocking, sharp, dripping with false certainty. They exaggerated stories, pulled old mistakes into new conversations, all to make me break the calm they couldn't stand. I could feel the pull, the urge to defend, to correct, to fight, but I caught it. I took a breath, met their eyes, and said quietly, "Interesting perspective, nothing more." The silence that followed was heavier than any comeback could have been. They froze because they wanted a battle, not stillness. And composure is what disarms those who feed on chaos. Seneca once said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." That's the heart of this lesson. The real damage isn't in what they say, it's in what we let it turn us into. The moment you let their words decide your state of mind, you've allowed them to lead you. And leadership of the self is something a Stoic never surrenders. The next time someone tries to provoke you, pause before you speak. Ask yourself, do they want a conversation or a reaction? Because not every fight deserves your fire. Some battles are won by silence. Some wars are ended by walking away. From here, the truth becomes clear. Emotional control is not passivity, it's precision. It's the ability to choose peace over noise, dignity over impulse. The strong do not shout, they outlast. So when they try to draw you into the storm, don't step inside. Watch from the shore. Let them drown in the waves they created while you remain untouched. Because in the end, the strongest person in the room is never the one who speaks the loudest. It's the one who stays calm when every voice around them is screaming. That's real power. That's the mastery of the Stoic mind. Entering the 7th chapter, we reach one of the strangest and most revealing tests of strength, imitation. When people realize they can't control you, they sometimes try to become you. At first, it seems harmless. You make a bold move, and suddenly they follow. You start something new, and a week later, they do the same. You speak an idea, and somehow it becomes theirs. At first, you laugh it off. But soon, it becomes clear they're not competing anymore, they're copying. And imitation, though it wears the mask of admiration, is often born from insecurity. It's not respect they feel, it's envy disguised as flattery. Now imagine the sun and its shadow. The shadow moves as the light moves, mimicking every outline, every shape. But it never shines. It exists only because the light does. That's what imitation truly is, a hollow reflection of something alive. They can copy your gestures, your rhythm, even your words, but what they can't copy is your mind. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca once said, Character, not imitation, defines a person. Your essence cannot be replicated because it's not learned, it's lived. It's written into your scars, your silence, your choices when no one is watching. Imitation is noise. Character is music. I remember someone who mirrored almost everything I did. Every step forward I took, they took one after me. If I learned a skill, they enrolled in the same course. If I shifted directions, they followed the trail I had just left. At first, I was angry. It felt like my work, my identity was being stolen piece by piece. But then one day, I saw it differently. The more they copied, the clearer it became that they had no compass of their own. They weren't leading, they were tracing. So I changed my rhythm completely, my methods, my approach, even my pace. And just like that, they froze. Because the imitator cannot survive without the one they mimic. When the source moves beyond what can be predicted, the shadow loses its shape. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's the heart of this lesson. Don't waste your energy watching who's imitating you or comparing paths. Keep walking yours. The fact that they copy you means you're ahead. The more you grow, the more distance appears. Let them chase if they must. It will teach them nothing but exhaustion. Your growth cannot be stolen because it's built from within, not borrowed from without. So how should you respond? You don't. You evolve. You rise so steadily that imitation becomes impossible. While they spend their days trying to resemble your last step, you're already standing in tomorrow's light. Remember this: people copy what they admire, but don't understand. They mimic the surface, not the substance. They crave the results, but not the discipline that created them. Let them have your echoes. Keep your essence. In the end, imitation isn't flattery, it's confession. A confession that they see in you something they cannot find in themselves. So don't let frustration distract you. Let it remind you, you are original. You are the flame, not the reflection. Keep creating, keep evolving, keep leading with quiet strength. Shadows can follow the light, but they will never replace it. Entering the 8th chapter, the air grows deceptively calm. You'll notice it in their smiles, the ones that never reach their eyes. They nod at your ambitions, say all the right words, clap at all the right times, but something about it feels hollow. They're not waiting for you to rise. They're waiting for you to fall. Because your growth exposes their stagnation, your courage reminds them of their fear. Some people can't stand to see others evolve beyond the limits they've chosen for themselves. So they wear the mask of support while secretly praying for your collapse. Now imagine this moment. You're standing on the edge of a new beginning. You've worked for it, sacrificed for it, bled for it. The same people who once called you naive now pat you on the back and say, "I'm happy for you." But behind that smile, there's a quiet hope that you'll stumble because your failure would make their comfort feel justified. It's strange, isn't it? How easily envy disguises itself as concern. They'll say things like, "Be careful," or "Don't get your hopes up." They won't sabotage you directly. They'll let their doubt echo in your head until you start doubting yourself. That's their quiet art of control. But here's where Stoic wisdom slices through the illusion. Epictetus once said, "Do not waste energy on those who hope for your downfall." The Stoics knew that not everyone clapping for you believes in your rise. True strength lies not in proving them wrong, but in walking your path, regardless of who's watching. Think of it like a storm against a tree. A weak tree bends, snaps, and curses the wind. But a deeply rooted one, calm, grounded, simply sways and returns stronger after every gust. The wind may rage, but it cannot uproot what's rooted in truth. The same goes for you. Their noise only matters if you let it inside. I remember someone who acted supportive in that very way. They nodded at my ideas, smiled at my progress, but their words always carried small doubts. "Are you sure this will work?" they'd ask. And when things got difficult, they were the first to say, "See, I told you it wouldn't be easy." That's when I saw it clearly. They weren't waiting for me to succeed. They were waiting to be proven right about my failure. For a while I tried to explain myself, tried to earn their genuine support. But then I realized you can't convince someone to root for your growth if your success reminds them of their own surrender. So I stopped explaining. I focused on the work. And when I finally succeeded, their silence was louder than their applause ever was. Seneca wrote, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." That's the essence of this test. Your victories are not meant to be loud. They're meant to be unshakable. Don't waste your time trying to make them proud. They were never meant to understand your journey. The Stoics believed that recognition from others is one of the most fragile forms of validation. It disappears the moment their insecurities return. Instead, seek the stillness that comes from knowing you're on the right path, even if no one's clapping. So when you sense those silent watchers, the ones waiting for you to falter, don't look back, don't defend, don't explain, keep moving. Every step forward is a quiet act of defiance. Every success, a reminder that strength doesn't need approval to grow. Because nothing unsettles those who wait for your failure more than watching you rise with grace. Their disappointment is proof of your progress. And when the storm finally settles, the weak trees will lie broken, but you rooted in purpose will still be standing. Calm, unshaken, victorious in silence. At the end of the day, there will always be people who do not want to see you rise. They would rather watch you hesitate, shrink, or surrender under pressure, because your strength reminds them of what they gave up on in themselves. But that is not your burden to carry. You do not owe them your silence or your struggle. You owe yourself peace, discipline, and the quiet pride that comes from standing your ground when the world tests your resolve. So stay steady, keep your focus sharp, and your heart calm. Let your progress speak where words no longer matter. Every time you choose composure over chaos, every time you refuse to react, you reclaim the power that was always yours. The Stoics taught that mastery begins the moment you stop needing approval and start living with intention. You cannot control what others say or do, but you can control the strength of your response and the direction of your path. If this message reached you, take a deep breath and type "Stand firm" in the comments. Let it be a quiet reminder that no one holds your peace but you. And if this voice of calm and clarity helps you reconnect with your strength, feel free to subscribe and stay close. Growth does not happen in noise. It happens in stillness, in reflection, in the small choices that make you stronger each day. Your journey is yours alone, shaped by every decision to rise instead of retreat. Keep going, keep becoming. In the next video, we will go even deeper into the art of remaining unshakable no matter what life brings. Stay centered, stay free,